winning and coalescing the evangelical vote is paramount if you want to win the Iowa caucuses. Some statistics that I've seen, 60% of the caucus goers are probably evangelical Christians.
Evangelical voters clearly have not settled on any candidate, and the polls keep showing different people emerging as their preferred candidate. The terrain is shifting so quickly and so dramatically that I think it's anybody's guess.
Tonight, the family leader, along with Citizens United and Governor Mike Huckabee, are pleased to participate in this event. Really the cornerstone of all of our issues.
What's different about Iowa is that you have such a long run-up to the first real event in the presidential primary calendar, and so you have a more determined and assiduous courting of these power brokers. And I think what's also different this time around for Iowa is that they're not all simply the megachurch pastors. You have people like Vanderplatz.
I think Iowans and Christian Iowans right now are divided between being idealistic and pragmatic. They look at someone and say, well, that person looks like they might be able to win the presidency. Other ones are saying, you know what, we have to vote our core values, period. Whether we think they can be elected or not. We have to take what we believe about Bible, what we believe about this world, and we must vote on that level. And I think that's really the divide right now, is between those two groups of people in Iowa.
I am leaning towards one candidate, and that would be Newt Gingrich. Newt is to the point. He has wonderful ideas. I think he is the best candidate to beat Barack Obama. My son is leaning towards Mitt, so we might have a house divided.
The problem is there's not one candidate to coalesce around to say there's one that champions our values. Let's lift that one out of the Iowa caucuses. Bachmann, Santorum, Perry, Gingrich, Ron Paul to some degree. They're all pretty good candidates on our issues.
If I have the great honor to be the President of the United States, I will end taxpayer money-funded abortions. Period.
They've been very open, talking about the sanctity of human life and God's design for the family, one man, one woman marriage. And so to rally around one has proven to be difficult, but that's what we're trying to do. And since we have four that really line up with our principles, now I think it begs of us to be a little bit pragmatic. And who can beat Barack Obama? Who can go the distance to beat Mitt Romney?
My family, my faith, freedom. These are enduring truths in my life.
I don't think that someone has to be a follower of Christ to be the President of the United States. And in fact, I have never had a conversation with a pastor where Governor Romney's faith or Mormonism has come into the conversation. They talk about leadership ability. They talk about first he was pro-life, then he wasn't, now he is.
I think Romney's position about his own faith, or his rhetoric about his own faith, is, unfortunately for him, politically feeds into, or reinforces rather, the impression that many voters have of him of being kind of all over the place. And the fact that he always says, I'm not a theologian, I don't speak for my church, strikes a lot of folks as disingenuous, especially given the fact that we know he was a bishop and in fact quite an important figure in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
I'm here to tell you tonight, as President of the United States, pro-lifers will never again be sent to stand against the wall.
What strikes me about the Iowa precinct caucuses in 2012 is that you have one or two candidates who identify very strongly with evangelicalism. Michelle Bachmann, obviously from Minnesota, and also Rick Perry from the governor of Texas. But these are not the people who are leading in the polls. It seems to be the case that the caucus goers are setting aside principle in favor of pragmatism. The polling indicates that they are favoring candidates who may not be the best exemplar of evangelical values. Exhibit A, of course, would be Newt Gingrich, married now 3 times.
Your rights, every person in this room, your rights come, including folks up there, your rights come from God to each one of you personally.
If you look at the life of Speaker Gingrich, there are some who struggle with some inconsistencies. They struggle with previous marriages and his affairs, and he's been very open to admitting that. If we're looking for a perfect person, then we have no one to vote for. And do we really challenge ourselves to truly believe what we say we believe, which is God is a forgiving God? And if he is a forgiving God, can he forgive Newt Gingrich? Yes, he can.
This country is based on a moral foundation. Unless we get the moral issues right, we will never get the economic or the foreign policy issues right.
In the case of Iowa, the economy is pretty good. Employers are trying to find people to fill jobs. And so some of the issues that we see playing out in other parts of the country simply aren't there in Iowa.
I think the best candidate to defeat Barack Obama will be a candidate that offers a stark contrast to Barack Obama. Someone who is a principled, conservative, limited government with a common sense approach to leadership and a deep love for this country. And I believe we have several in this race right now that would offer a stark contrast to President Obama. And if we have the stark contrast, I believe we win.